Hey y'all, I got my 2007 Hyundai Elantra here, 2007 Hyundai Elantra, and this gonna be a quick video, quick tutorial, just showing you how to put coolant in your car, when to put coolant in your car, and the kind of coolant that I put in. This is the cheap kind, but as you can see, it is extended life projected antifreeze and coolant 50-50 ready. You don't have to add any water or anything, so that's good. This is your radiator here, and this is your coolant. Once you realize that this is low, most likely this is low. This was low first. Your radiator, your fan back here, this was low first. This was gone first. Then it relies on this. And because it can't rely on this no more, it's now making this go to a certain meter higher than usual. So this has a lot to do with your radiator and your coolant of your engine and the coolant of your car. Anytime you see this go up gauges or two, which is normal because it does gauges, but you know, this is when you start to check something. So that's what we doing here. We is checking and making sure that the car has coolant or needs coolant, and adding and replacing the coolant. Always remember to make sure your car is cool. Always cool. Never wait 30 minutes, 40 minutes. Most likely, if your car runs hot, you need to wait a day, a whole entire day, to let your car cool. Once you know that it's cool from the very next day, then you got you something you can work with. And being that you got something you can work with, it's time to put you some coolant in your car so that you don't overheat it. So you let it sit a day. If you can't let it sit a day, the best thing to do is let it sit for like 5 hours. It needs to sit. It needs to be off. It needs to be not crunk up, not bothered with. It needs to like cool. It needs to cool. Be cool. So again, this is a video on how to make sure you put coolant antifreeze into your car. This is a 07 Hyundai Sonata, so this is exactly the model. If you have this model that you would steps you will follow, but I believe this is with any car. And you always go to AutoZone, Napa, O'Reilly's, any of them good people, and they will tell you what kind of coolant go or antifreeze go in your car. They definitely would tell you what kind goes in there. And if they have that kind, and if you have the funds to purchase that kind, because in the world it's all about money, then that's the kind you get, that's the kind you use. And like I said, you don't do it with the car on. As you see, we just checked and made sure that the car was cool. Now you add your coolant antifreeze, aka I got a rag here, so don't be discouraged by that move I just made. But you want to pour it. Most people have a filter. If you watch like other videos and stuff, you'll see some people have like filters. You want to pour it really slow. It'll come out fast, but you'll get in the groove of it and it'll start coming out pretty slow. We're not trying to put antifreeze everywhere, but as you can see, that's kind of what's happening here. But we're pouring it, and she's very thirsty. She is thirsty. She is thirsty. We poured a good little bit and she's still like more. So that's what we're gonna do. We're not gonna be stingy. That's the last thing we're gonna do. Yeah, she was pretty thirsty. Once you see it start bubbling up, give it a chance to go down. Give it a chance to... Yeah, she was thirsty. She was thirsty. As you can see, I give it a chance to go up. Let it come up and I give it a chance to bubble down. Fill in the gaps, fill in the gaps. And pun point, I mean, you see we made a mess here, so that's fine, but you could look more under the car. Make sure you don't see no leakages nowhere. Of course, we made that mess. We know where that's coming from, but we just checking, making sure. Making sure. Okay, we'll just start back pouring. We don't see no leak nowhere. We don't see it coming out of nowhere. And as you can see, she was pretty thirsty. She was pretty thirsty. And like I said, you do this with yours until you see she's not bubbling up no more. I mean, bubbling down. Like, as you can see, when I feel her, I let it, and it bubbles down. So she was pretty thirsty. She was pretty thirsty. Okay, got your bubble there, but she was thirsty. She was pretty thirsty. Okay. Check a little bit with the hose here. Now the hose here actually does help. You'll see some mechanics when they want to check and see if you have any cooling, or which would have been a good step to try. They'll usually do this to see if you have any cooling in your car or anything. Kind of like squeeze the hose. When you squeeze the hose, you see it ain't even like making no noise, or you can hear it a little bit. So she's still thirsty. Still thirsty, and it's a good thing that we let the car cool down as long as we did. So yeah, she thirsty. And again, we let it bubble. Yeah, she was thirsty. She was pretty thirsty. It's a 10-minute video. I want to try to keep it until she fills up so I can show you how to pour the rest into the coolant. But yeah, I probably will end it here because she's pretty thirsty. I don't want y'all to watch her drink much down as she is. But once she fills, and as you can see, she's coming along there. Once she fills, we will sound thirsty. Sound empty. Once we finish this, the last little bit of going to the cooling. And that'll be about it. That'll be done. We fill it up to the full max right there. You get back in. You get back in your car, yeah. And to check it, you pour it while it's off. And to check it, you're going to turn your car. First of all, you're going to make sure that you put this back on and your top down. Then you're going to go inside of here, back inside. And you're going to crank up. And then you're going to turn your heat on throttle. Full throttle, max heat, max forward, max heat. And that should fix the issue. I told you that your issue is fixed. Get back with me. Okay.